What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm your host, Warren Thompson, and if you are already getting really excited for the future of Marvel Studios as it is right now with the release of Deadpool 3, Deadpool and Wolverine that is, the announcement of the Fantastic Four cast, and of course the release of the trailer for X-Men 97, then you're about to get more excited. Marvel Studios right now is changing a lot, and they're doing this internally. They are doing this from the inside. They are evaluating their own company and they're evaluating their current projects and figuring out how to make them better, as well as future projects. And we've talked about this a little bit on the channel. But today, The Hollywood Reporter released a pretty big article titled "How Marvel is Quietly Retooling Amid Superhero Fatigue," with the subtitle "The studio's golden box office aura has been dented, but chief architect Kevin Feige isn't scrapping his years-long cinematic universe plan, just refining it," with a quote, "They're not going to give up," end quote, says an insider. And of course they're not going to give up. Of course not. They're one of the most successful franchises of all time, even though they've been in a little bit of a rough patch lately. And that really kind of just depends on who you ask as well. I see plenty of people out there on Twitter, in the comment section, on Instagram, stating that they still really do enjoy Marvel. And yeah, not everything has been an absolute grand slam, but a lot of people have still been enjoying a lot of the Marvel projects. However, having said that, no doubt there is work to do, but it looks like Marvel Studios is back on track, and we're going to go over this entire article. And it also does seem like the next Avengers film is not going to be titled The Kang Dynasty, as it's said in this article, which of course we'll get into. Now, I believe the Hollywood Reporter were the first to mention this, and they are reporting it again now. Despite Marvel Studios recently having the Kang Dynasty on their slate listed as the Kang Dynasty, it still looks like they feel that the name Kang has sort of a negative connection to it now because of Jonathan Majors. But we'll get into everything and break down this entire article in this video. And of course, if you're new, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. So I'm actually going to go over two lines from the end of this article before we dive into the beginning, because I think they're important. The last two paragraphs read, "The dual writers and actors strikes, while costly to Hollywood, ironically gave Marvel breathing space. It was able to reschedule its movies so that only Deadpool and Wolverine will be released in 2024, and only two series, Echo and Agatha, are bowing on Disney Plus this year. Other movies remain in the script stage, while TV shows such as Ironheart have filmed, but have no release date in sight. It is all designed to give creatives some breathing room and give audiences the chance to miss the MCU just a little bit." And the last line reads, "They're not going to give up," says a source who has worked with Marvel over the past year. "They want to make something great." So right away about these last two paragraphs, one is that they call Agatha just Agatha, and I have been hearing reports from insiders that the name of the actual series could just be titled Agatha, and every other title we've heard so far are actually going to be titles of episodes. So Agatha, Coven of Chaos could be episode 1, Darkhold Diaries could be episode 2, but the overall show could just be called Agatha. That's just a little tidbit there. But the best part of this paragraph says it's all designed, meaning this is very intentional, to give creative some breathing room and give audiences the chance to miss the MCU, which I think is actually a good plan. I mentioned this before, but Marvel movies, the release of Marvel movies used to be such a huge deal in the past. When a Marvel movie hit the theaters, it was packed and everybody was super excited about it. But now with the inclusion of Disney Plus shows, and a lot of Disney Plus shows, I do feel like the significance and I'll say just the special feeling of a Marvel movie releasing has gone down, because we do have a lot of content. And of course, when you produce a lot of content very rapidly, the quality is going to go down because your people that you have working on all of these different projects are going to be stretched pretty thin. But now it does seem like, according to this article, Marvel is giving the creatives time to breathe, which means they'll also have more time to focus on the project in front of them rather than worrying about what is next, because they have a quick deadline to hit. And the last line I really love, "They want to make something great." Of course Kevin Feige does. Of course that is his plan right now. And this article does highlight a lot of things that they are doing internally right now to make the MCU better. So let's go over them. Starting with everything that has happened with Jonathan Majors. One paragraph reads, "Marvel Marvel is also cleaning up the creative mess left in the wake of Jonathan Majors, the once rising actor cast to play the linchpin villain role in the next Avengers movies, but who in December was found guilty of reckless assault in the third degree and harassment in a Manhattan court after a domestic incident with his ex-partner, a movement coach he met while working on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, listen to this. Marvel dropped Majors hours after the conviction and is rewriting those movies, which will now either minimize the character or excise him entirely. The first of the new Avengers movies, due out in 2026, was initially titled Avengers The Kang Dynasty, but will be getting a new title to remove the character's name, though sources say that even before Majors' conviction, the studio was making moves to minimize the character after Quantumania underperformed, grossing $476 million. So according to The Hollywood Reporter, which of course is a massive outlet, we are not getting The Kang Dynasty. Avengers 5 is indeed going to be titled something else, and it looks like they still might write Kang out of the MCU altogether. And I still think Kang should be a villain. I do think Kang should be the main villain of the MCU still in the multiverse saga. They should just recast him if they're not going to bring Jonathan Majors back, which of course it looks like they are not going to. But this article goes on to talk about what Marvel Studios is currently doing to become better. So let's break it down. Of course, they start off by talking about all of the major success that they have had recently, with the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer breaking a massive record. The Fantastic Four, X-Men 97, which also the trailer set an internal Disney record as the biggest launch for an animated series on Disney+. But these were calibrated moves to release and announce all of these things so close together. And the article states, these public-facing moves come as studio boss Kevin Feige recalibrates the creative direction behind the scenes. Early in February, the company completed reshoots for Agatha Darkhold Diaries. The company usually budgets 5 days of reshoots into the schedule, but the studio completed the work in just one, fueling a sunny outlook around the show internally, according to sources associated with the series. So good news for Agatha. It seems like the show is exactly what they want it to be, and evidently it was so good that instead of using 5 days for reshoots, they only needed one, so that's a great sign for that series. But continuing, the article states, the studio also quietly hired Eric Pearson to polish the script for the Fantastic Four, which will shoot this summer in London. Pearson is a company stalwart who worked on Thor Ragnarok and Black Widow, and has a reputation for taking projects over the finish line. So Marvel Studios is not taking the script for the Fantastic Four lightly. Of course, this is Kevin Feige's passion project, and they brought in Eric Pearson to help put the final touches to the Fantastic Four. They also hired Joanna Kahlo, the showrunner of the acclaimed FX series The Bear, to work on the Thunderbolt script, so trying to make that movie better as well. And check this out, it states that on the TV side, Marvel has been reorganizing its operations to allow for greater control from showrunners, a move made after the critical failure of the expensive Samuel L. Jackson spy series Secret Invasion, which sidelined executive producer Kyle Bradstreet after a year, with various creative factions vying for influence in his wake. One insider of all of the tinkering going on behind the scenes states that the focus is internal this year. And that's good. It needs to be. They need to have qualified people in charge of these projects. The article states execs are not calling it a reboot, not even a soft one, but more of a creative retooling. It's no secret that since 2019 Avengers Endgame, the company was asked to scale up in an unprecedented way to feed its fledgling streaming service Disney+. Then, a top priority for Disney, which was in the thick of the streaming wars, first under the direction of Disney CEO Bob Iger and later his short-lived successor Bob Chapek, Marvel expanded into TV series and animation, with the goal of the MCU becoming a place with a seemingly endless procession of year-round releases. It was an ask that proved too unwieldy to sustain, and Bob Iger recently stated, some of our studios lost a little focus, so the first step that we've taken is that we've reduced volume. We've reduced output, particularly at Marvel. That is to ensure the films you're making can be even better. So as you can see here, Marvel Studios really is taking a lot of measures internally to make sure that they are indeed going to get back to the same quality that they had before that we're all used to. So overall, this really is fantastic news. Marvel and Disney are aware that there is a problem, and they are actively trying to fix their problem. They have a new master plan, and it looks like it's going to work. Fingers crossed, at least. I really am excited for a lot of their projects that they have coming up. Let me know how excited you are in the comments down below, and let me know what you think about Kang possibly being removed from the MCU entirely, and what do you think the new title for Avengers 5 should be? Leave your comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to stay up to date on the MCU. And if you subscribe and leave a comment, you're automatically entered in our giveaway for a chance to win a PS5 and Xbox Series X, some Marvel Legends items or DC items. The winner picks one item, and we pick one winner at the end of each month. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.